Facebook's gonna recognize us in one sec. On Facebook. Okay, here we are. Oh, and okay, we are live, and now we are also public, which is nice. Well, people, today is the October 2nd. It's as I promised. I'm having the honor to receive here this great bassist. It's an icon on a contemporary bass playing from France that I had the pleasure to meet during the time I was in France for my last postdoctoral stage when I was working on Xenaxis, and I had this great pleasure of meeting in person. This bass player that was an inspiration for my studies, and I'm very glad that he accepted to be here with us today. Welcome, bienvenue, Jean-Pierre.
So we begin?
Oui, oui.
Yes, perfect.
And uh, je recevoir Monsieur Pacheco ora, c'est
Oh,
claviceur, né? Que joia de claviceur. C'est professeur de l'Université de São Paulo.
mhm.
Et oui, bienvenue. C'est ça.
Merci.
So, Jean-Pierre, euh, como, ah, quelle langue, hein? How is the life during quarantine? Is being uh, more difficult? It's easier for you? Every people has a different way of living this hard times. How is it for you?
Yes, for me, um, why, when I understood what was arriving, uh, I had the possibility of taking my car and go far from Paris in the country and take all my suitcases, family, bass, and so on, to be quite far from Paris. It was possible. So I took the car and go. Uh, I use this time to have a moment of thinking about life, collective life. So I was with my son, which, who is 23, and musician, violinist, and he lives in university for music, high level. And I saw him how is his life, how is his studies, and I was afraid of what I was reading. Normally, he's living far from us. He has his own home, so on. And we just meet the family, with my wife, and I discovered how he is living at the university, and I was really afraid. And I was thinking about the signification of art, signification of learning what we are here doing art in our life, in our earth. That's my thoughts. And when you invited me for a meeting, um, um,
C'est bon comme ça.
oui, c'est bien. I wanted to communicate about a new modality for me in learning because there is a part of my personal work, artistic work, I have never to talk about. Never.
Hmm.
Only my family knows it. Only a few artists knows it. Very few, maybe 10. And in public communication, never talk about it. This is my inner work on energy, inner energy. So when you invited me, I think maybe it's time to do something. And I would like to present the project for me because in the other parts of my life, learning, teaching life, there is other activities, not really musical, but artistic. That's martial arts, inner martial arts. And there is a very specific art, which is art of dreaming, which is the work for find consciousness in the dream. This is for me uh, the quest of consciousness, and expression is for me the same as in music, because for me music is a language, not only
Transform music into what?
a language,
Oh, okay.
a language.
Language.
So there is a part of myself where all these questions are have the same center. So I would like to present that idea to open the teaching, the future, the future in 2 weeks, something like that, to open this teaching for three directions. One, which is music. The second, martial arts, and the third, art of dreaming. And I work since some months or years with people working in these different uh,
It's there is a little bug in our conversation. It's a music, and the second one,
martial arts.
martial arts.
Ah,
Oh, martial arts. Okay,
yes,
music, martial arts, and
and art of dreaming. Art of dream.
out of dreaming. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
These three directions. I have people uh, people who work with me in these three areas. So my idea is to present my 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 trainings to train these people in the same direction. So I can,
Would be that
yes.
dream or not?
Alors, what are these trainings? That's the question. What kind of trainings are they?
Oh, it's a question.
Yes, that's the first question.
What?
What kind of training are they?
Okay.
There is exercise,
Mhm.
sometimes inner exercise, inner message, and dancing.
Mhm.
That's things coming from a lot of origins, time, different country, sometimes Sri Lanka, Mexico, sometimes India, sometimes Vietnam, and from masters I have met, met, have met in Paris, who was a child master. So it's the point that this is not technicals from what country, but human technique. No Tibetan technique, no Indian technique, human technique, no Chinese technique, human technique. And I have mixed those techniques with the art. One of my masters, for example, one of my martial arts master was a doctor, Chinese. Uh, so melt, melting musician with professional sportif, for example.
Mhm.
So, yes,
I was going to ask you, in this whole experience, uh, I remember that you've been developing a lot of work for with extended technique for the bass with the harmonics, and you gave me some books about that. And I was wondering if you have developed more of those pedagogical ideas of extended techniques.
the question of extending techniques. First, there is the question of mind suppleness. Mind suppleness is to make for making new ideas, new perceptions, to have relationship with academics, which will not make you in a jail. That's the first thing. Because when we are child, we receive information and transform the reception of information in ability. But the mind can to think, to live on. And there is a moment when we need to open. And at this moment, we need a new energy to meet new people, to meet new master, and so on, new music, new other arts, and so on and so on. Everybody do it at 20, 25, etc. But for to make a new life, the art, you need a new energy. I remember very precisely for me, I go outside the conservatory, I have my prize, and I say what I have to do now. And my brain was empty, empty. So
So all technique ideas come with the synergy of the body with the instrument and what you live in life. Is that what you mean?
yes, but one thing for me is the question of energy. Energy is a level of activity with quality of activity, which makes an inside energy which will transform the inside.
Sim.
You know, and this is the same in other arts, scenic arts, dance, theater, or painting, and so on. Exactly the same. I met a lot of other scenic um, artists, a lot, and it is for all it was the same question of what have I to do now? I have the beginning of the serious technique, but what I have to do now with myself, with other people, but with myself too. And it's a quest, a long quest for all the life. There is another horizon. We
Mhm.
have to explore limits, borders, inside borders, not only time music borders, no, inside borders. That's because it is the question of energy, learn energy. Learn it is uh, the possibility of the flow commitment.
Oui. So Alexandre Rosa, c'est au contrebassiste de l'orchestre de State de São Paulo. Et,
No?
et il est en postdoctoral période en India. Et je te, il te demande quel type de musique que tu écoutes aujourd'hui.
My first music listen is silence. Excuse me. First, silence.
Silence.
Silence. Yes. After John Cage. And also a lot of music from India because I was in India. There is 1 year. I wanted to see people with their own reason, their own smiles, very particular smiles, and reason walking in the street and so on. I wanted, and and so I listen a lot of Indian music, classical Indian.
C'est parfait. C'est très, it's very hard to listen to the silence. One needs to be a lot introspective and concentrated in order to listen to the silence, don't you think?
In the newspaper here in Paris, not currently, but at the beginning of the epidemic, it was a lot of collective question about excuse me, my English.
Tu peux parler français si tu veux, il n'y a pas de problème.
Oui.
Oui.
Je perds mon français.
Je sais comment est. Quand
C'est
je
le
parle anglais, et j'ai commencé à parler français, et l'anglais, les mots en anglais viennent, et c'est une très confusion, mais de pouvoir français, anglais, comme tu veux.
no, it was it was communicated by the newspaper and so on about um, the people who meet themselves alone in their home without activity and finding the necessity of thinking with themselves. That's the relationship with silence. The center, the question, the collective question is that epidemic.
It, it seems to me that empathy is the word for these days, right? In music and in life, uh, the empathy is something that it needs to be in a performing arts this more than ever, because we need to be more connected
Mm.
now that we cannot be in touch presently. We need to make our music to touch people more than ever.
Yes, and first, uh, when I am talking about my project of teaching, it's with India, with maybe in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
With, I am in contact with people in Canada, in all France, people I have never met, never. But we are in contact from maybe 2 years for some of them. Yes, 2 years. Okay, that's the what you were saying, collective. We have to change, maybe us human. We have to change our modalities of contact. We
Hmm.
have not a question of language, excuse me for my English, the question of language, but the question of new modalities in, for connecting, to connect with other people. And very different people. Uh, I am I have intense conversation with people in India, and it's so different, so different. And we have to change all the brain to avoid standard conversation. We have really to change. Well, I love a lot with very old man, master, who was Chinese, from China. It was so different, so different. It's a necessity of synapse, we call synapse in the world, the ability of connecting very for uh, changing the world.
Um, um, the one um, I'd like to show one for those who don't know, just to advertise a bit. I'd like to show you guys this. Yeah, this book is. It was a. It was actually revolutionary, I think, because when you put out this book, we only have Turetsky as another source.
Bien sûr.
And this came up. Oh, this is autographed. Sorry, people. But it comes with those two CDs, you see, and with the bass contemporary, double bass contemporary uh, examples. That you can see the printing, how you write it, and now and also Jean-Pierre recorded how it sounds. And I think it was a great contribution, especially, particularly for the composers who could understand better how the bass worked, and our communication with composers became a lot more understandable, more clear when after we had this. So um, I know you being a lot of people try to buy and it's not available anymore.
Yes, yes,
Is this one?
yes, 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 sure.
Right, internet? Oh, Finac has it already. Because
Excuse
when
me?
I was Finac,
Fnac, oui.
Finac has it.
Yes.
When I was there, I couldn't find it. I ordered, and they said, "Well, we're out of stock," and never came back to me. And then when I went to Paris, so you gave me this, so
Oui.
I have it now. But here in Brazil, it's very difficult to get it. And but anyway, that was a great inspiration, and I think it's a way to work with technical approaches to the bass, but also enhancing communication, right? Also enhancing, making bonds like people closer, other bass players and composers and other string players. You're more connected through this work that you did. So, and I know you have other plans of publications.
For me, this book was also excuse me, I am looking for the word.
Uh, uh, Victor Sanjoye Edmundo is asking,
Ah oui.
yes,
Yes, for me, it was, excuse me, yes, a
we
testimony.
have to learn to be alone with ourselves and to be able to relate with the others in a healthy way.
Excuse me?
That's what Edmundo is saying. Yes, we have to learn to be alone with ourselves to be able to relate with the others in a healthy way.
Uh-huh. For me, it was a testimony of what was moving in Paris in the years 90.
Mhm.
Um, it was very interesting at this moment because a lot of composer uh, was in Paris and from a lot of countries,
I'm sure
uh,
people are asking.
uh, exile composers, and each composer was coming with his own musical think and need to transform the writings of necessary with that new thinking. So when we was musician, instrumentalist, performer, we was obliged to be able to read numerous, a lot of kind of writing. A lot. So it was very particular of the 19 of the year 90.
Okay, so there's Alexandre Saint's book by Robert is a reference, very important work. Yeah, that's I agree. It is. It is. Um, so we're going over our 30 minutes. So is that something you would like to tell our listeners that I didn't ask you that you think it's important to say?
excuse me, I have not.
Something you would like to tell our viewers that before we say goodbye? Yeah.
So I hope everything will be better after the epidemic. I think not um, about it for you and for the movement of arts in South America. And I want to thanks.
Well, I thank you very much for spending this half an hour with us. And this is our live number 196. We almost there. The project is to go up to 200. So
Mhm.
it's getting close. And I'd like to thank everyone that is watching. And I know a lot of people come and watch later. And I would thank you guys very much. And well, tomorrow we have here a pianist, Marina Machado.
Mhm.
And, until Wednesday, we're going to be here every day at the same time. And Jean-Pierre, I hope we would get to see each other in sometime not too long, not too far from now. And that this craziness in the world will be much better.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to,
Mhm.
hang and eat and drink. That's what the French people do very well. Together and eat and drink good stuff. So yeah, I love that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello, bye
Bye,
bye.
people. See you tomorrow.
Bye.